3DS prices are fucking insane until I came across this 2DS XL for £30. I couldn't believe it and brought it instantly. However, there was a con. The top screen is broken. But how hard could it be to fix it? A few days later, it arrived, and I could confirm that the top screen was completely fucked. Everything else seemed to work fine though, which was a good sign, though you really couldn't tell that the screen would be broken on this, because the rest of the console is in very good condition. So it was time to open it up and get replacing the top screen. My weapon of choice is the iFixit toolkit. We're going to need the tri-wing bit that Nintendo insists on using, because God forbid they use something normal like a Phillips or a flathead. No, they have to pick something special. After removing those, we need to be careful of the cables which connect to various things. Now, the first thing you should do while taking apart any electronics is to disconnect the battery. On most 3DS models, this is very easy. Take off a couple of screws and then pop the battery up with your finger. But not this one. Guess what Nintendo decided to do to this battery? If you chose put the strongest adhesive known to man, you would be right, meaning it's going to be a massive pain to remove. So here's my second weapon, alcohol. No, not for me, the console. Specifically, this is isopropyl alcohol. This can fight at the adhesive, making it no longer sticky, meaning we can easily lift up the battery. Though we're still going to need to do some prying. And we need to be super careful because look how close it is to the charging port, the shoulder buttons. It'd be a shame if one of those got damaged. After a little bit of prying, the battery came out perfectly with no damage to it. However, I noticed something very wrong. Have a look at that shoulder button. It looks very wonky. Oh, so what appears to have happened is that I've knocked this clean off the board, and I've also damaged some traces. Well, this ain't a great start. Upon taking a closer look at it, I was thinking maybe I could salvage it by gluing it down or something, but no, it seems to be just too far gone, sadly. Duh, just resolder it. I considered it, but my solder iron tip is way too big for this job. Perhaps I'll revisit it once I have the proper equipment. Sadly, for now, it's going to stay broken. Anyways, I decided to continue on by now unscrewing the Phillips head screws. Yeah, that's right. From now on, it's just all Phillips head screws. So they only use tri-wings on the outside and Phillips on the inside. Thanks, Nintendo. Very cool. And now time to disconnect so many ribbon cables. Oh, and to add some additional complexity, some of these don't need latches flapping up. Some of these are just friction fitted. And I've seen many times people come along, they pry up on these and then they completely destroy the connectors. After all that, we can finally remove the motherboard. Now we want to focus on this cable right here. This is the cable for the top display, which is what we're going to be replacing. However, how do we get to the display? You're not going to believe this. Adhesive, and lots of it. This black piece is held down with ridiculously strong adhesive. It's so strong that you could snap the plastic in two. Surprisingly, it came off in one piece. Then we just removed the 4 screws in each corner, and then we need to unclip the back part, being careful not to crack anything. Really? I put no pressure on that and it just cracked. Now, take a wild guess what holds down this screen in place. Yep, more adhesive. In fact, the iFixit guide says you have to destroy the screen to get it out because the adhesive holding it down is so strong that the layers of the LCD are more likely to break up before that adhesive does. I guess so we can see how this screen works. As you can see, we have a bunch of reflective bits of paper that does all magical things. Got the backlight there. It's kind of fascinating to see. And just like the guide says, this final layer here gets stuck to the lens, meaning we need to go in with a metal jimmy here and pry up on it. Guess what it's made out of? If you guessed glass, you are right. So it does glass things. So if you're trying this at home, make sure to wear some eye protection. After about 20 minutes, I managed to get all of it up, as well as all the old adhesive. And I also managed to break the frame. Now, I was wondering, what are we going to glue down this lens with? I settled on this T8000 glue. I've had some success with it before, so maybe it'll work here. I put the glue on and then went to go do something for 30 minutes. When I came back, it was definitely on there. It even kind of fixed up the crack at the top. Here comes the new screen, which cost £24. Since when did 3DS parts become this expensive? £24 for a basic TN screen? Seems a lot. This screen better work. But now, how on earth are we going to get this new screen in here? As it's not as easy as just plugging it into the motherboard, as this ribbon cable needs to follow a specific route. Essentially, you need to roll the ribbon cable through the hinge. I kid you not, it took me an hour to figure out the correct way to do it. And the even harder thing was, this cable was brand new, so it wasn't like curled up and all that. So I had to carefully kind of mold the cable into the shape I wanted it. And then I also had to make sure that the red antenna was in the middle of it. This metal ring was going around it correctly. The hinge was slotting in properly. It was just a big mess. Just imagine 1 hour of this. Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck. It won't even fit. No. Finally. We're getting somewhere. We're not. Fuck hell. And that's the tame stuff I was saying. But finally, it was all put back together properly, so we could just plop in the motherboard. And I put it back together, making sure to put the battery in the correct way, because it would be a shame if, say, someone had a Law 3DS and put in the battery the wrong way.
Oh dear, that was me connecting the battery backwards. I think it killed it. Oh, I got smoke. I've accidentally started to light my desk on fire.
So, will it work? Kinda? So at least we know the top screen works and I wasn't scammed. Upon flipping it over, I made a rookie mistake. Can you see it? Yep, there is a missing cable right here. At this point, I was really starting to lose a little bit of patience. So I pressed the power button and yes, that is beautiful. Now for the grand reveal. I can officially say this 2DS has been fixed, and I'm happy to report there are no other issues with it, minus the ones I've caused. The plastic cracks aren't noticeable at all. The broken button I also got lucky with, as the one I damaged is the ZR button, which the games I play don't use it. So, in my eyes, this is a fully working 2DS. Maybe I'll come back to it when I can micro solder, but for now I'm happy with how it is. What more could you ask for? It was £55 all in, which is a third of the price. Would I recommend you try it? Yes, but not as a first project, given how fucking hard Nintendo made it to fix. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.